Hello and welcome back to IAmMe. Today I'm going to be introducing you to a game that I created. I wanted a game that the children would love but also could be used in literacy, so I created a perfect game to engage children and practice all word classes and the sentence types. This is the perfect end of year activity but also can be great throughout the entire year when you want to pique the interest of the children. The best part about the game is how easy it is to tailor to your class's needs. It can be a short 5-minute starter or a longer activity to take up an entire lesson. It can be played in one sitting or played in multiple sittings. Before I carry on with the video, I would very much appreciate if you could like and share the video, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel. That would help me so much and would be the best way for you to say thank you for the free content that I create. So, what lessons does it actually teach and how does it work? So far, it covers nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, coordinate conjunctions, modal verbs, and subordinate conjunctions. It also has questions for simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences, active and passive voice. Don't worry if you're in year 3 and thinking, ooh, that seems a bit complicated, because it can be completely adaptable and completely customised for your class and its needs. So you can only learn the SPAG that you want to target or is at a suitable level for your age. So, how can you play? How you play is quite simple. You need the worksheet that you can see beside me and a link which will randomly generate words or sentences. Both of these can be found in the description below. As you can see, the worksheet is split into 2 sections. One is the game and the other is the calculation station. This offers space for the children to show their working out. I have also attached a 10-space bar. This allows the children to have something to help them count along for the points that they get. This is the random generator from the link. It will inform the children to a specific section. The section will have a word class or a sentence beneath. I can change the sections here through this drop-down box. There, they can cross it off and follow the instructions of that section. The instructions include gaining points, losing points, and much more, dependent on the worksheet that which you choose. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points is the winner. I know I gave a very brief description of how you play the game, but that's because there's so many different ways that you can customise it. I wanted you to know a broad understanding of how you play before I explain how you can make the game perfect for your class. So to start, you can choose how long you want the game to last. You can set the length in 3 different ways. The first way, setting a number of turns. You can say that we're going to play for 10 turns, so after the 10th turn, the game is over. You can choose however many turns you want. You could also play the game like a bingo style way. The game is over when one person has all the boxes crossed off. You can even change the length of that, because you could say each box needs to be crossed off once, or twice, or even 3 times. Here, I will show you how each picture has 3 different places that you can cross it off. 1 in each square beneath the picture, and 1 big cross across the picture. Finally, you can set a time limit. For example, we're going to play for 5 minutes each literacy lesson for a week. And once the week is over, we will find a winner. The next thing you need to decide is what SPAG features you wish the children to learn, so the children know how to fill in their activity sheet. You can focus on word classes. The word classes are split into 3 different groups. Group 1 includes nouns, verbs, adjectives and adverbs. Group 2 includes all of Group 1, but also coordinating conjunctions and prepositions. And Group 3 includes all of the previous, but also includes subordinate conjunctions and modal verbs. You can focus on sentence types instead. Sentence types are split into 4 groups. You have simple and compound sentences. You have simple, compound and complex sentences. Then you also have simple, compound and complex again, but more difficult, as they can include prepositional phrases and expanded noun phrases and even relative clauses. And also, finally, there is active and passive voice sentences. You could choose to mix up the sentence types with word classes. It is entirely up to you, and it's entirely as much and as difficult or as easy as you want to make it for the children. How the children fill in the activity sheet is very important. Once you decide which SPAG features you're wanting to include, you then need to make sure the children know how many of each they must include. You could ask them to include at least 1 of each, or a child could include the same thing for every single one. For example, if you was focusing on just word classes, and you was looking at adjective nouns, verbs and adverbs. A child could use all 12 as nouns. But if you set the guideline to be you must include 2 of each, then they might do 8 from 2 of each, and then they might pick 4 more nouns. You need to set those guidelines so the children know, but also it allows them to be a bit more strategic. Finally, once you've decided those 2 steps, you need to decide how much engagement you want to have in the class and how much you want to be curriculum and educational focused and how much do you actually want just to be the game. There are 3 different versions. The first sheet requires little interaction with the teacher for how to play the actual game, as the children quite simply gain points, lose points and save points. Worksheet 2 is the exact same as worksheet 1, but there was a little bit more interaction because it has the section of phone home. This section will take a little bit of time away from the educational side and adds a little bit more of the fun element. But the children really enjoy it as it gives a chance of something positive or at risk of something bad happening. Because the idea of phone home is whether, are you ringing home for a good reason or a bad reason? And that allows the children to have a reward or consequence depending on the flip of a coin. And finally, the third worksheet makes the activity very much a game more than educational. It still has the educational link, but it's very much more a game, a bit like the pirate game. And this leads to a lot of back and forth, less interaction with the actual educational questions, more to the game side of the activity. Okay, I know I've just given you a lot of information and you're thinking, how would you like to customise your game that's best for your class? But here is just one more rule that I would like to include, regardless of how you play the game. And that rule I would introduce is that a child cannot use the same section, even if that word, class or sentence is selected again, until all the other sections have been used the same amount of times. For example, I would give the example of imagining you're playing pass the parcel. They've just had the parcel and it's moved on. They can get it again, but they have to wait until all the other people, all the other sections have been used. Does that make sense? Great. You should now know enough to be able to customise your game and how to play it. So let me explain each of the sections. All of these are points. If the child lands on this section or chooses this section, they get the points that this section gives. Then you have these action sections, and I'm going to disappear as I explain them. The first one is head teacher's office. When you land there, all points the child has collected will be lost unless they're saved in their tray. Then we have the tray, which is a safe space. When a child lands on a safe space, they save all their current points in their tray and they can never be taken or lost. The third one is safe house. When a child lands here, they miss the next turn. During that turn, they can't gain anything or lose anything. It's a safe space. It's their school. Then you've got tidy the classroom. If a child selects this one, they double their points because they've done something good, they've helped, and they've tidied the classroom. That's worth double points, right? Then call home. We have explained this one a little bit. Before the game, the teachers and the children work out a positive and a negative. And when the child lands on there, they choose heads or tails, and the teacher flips a coin. If they guess correct, they get the positive. If they get it wrong, they get the negative. Then we've got this one, partner up. The child selects a friend they wish to combine their scores with. Both of them combine their scores to get a total score. The friend doesn't lose theirs, they both get the total, the combined score. The next one is school trip. The child leaves his seat and swaps with another child in the class. You can make this a bit more exciting by getting the children to turn over their sheet so the person swapping doesn't know the points that the other person has. Make it a bit more exciting. Then we've got collect the equipment. The child selects one row or a table and takes all their points. They don't get it, but they just disappear. Then we've got ask a question. The teacher asks the child a question, and if the child gets it correct, they receive 10 points. And finally, the school's badge. The child can use the school's badge once it's been landed on, one time for every time it's been landed on. and that will protect them from absolutely anything in the future, but they have to say, I protect myself with the school's badge. Hopefully you like this game, you will use this game, and I haven't just spent many hours of my life creating something that nobody will use. If you do like the game and plan on using it, it would mean the world to me if you shared this video with your colleagues by hitting the share button beneath, but more importantly, please make sure you subscribe because that helps me out the most. My channel offers support to teachers through activities, worksheets, creating homework, and offering time-saving hacks. So if you like this video, you will also enjoy all the other content that I post. Thank you for watching, and I hope this is something that you will use. Until next time.